Okay, so here we are with Jay Sable of onecommunityglobal.org. And Jay, you were telling me a little bit about how you came to the realization of where you're at. And could you share that with the viewers again, please?
Sure. I was in college going towards an engineering degree, and I grew up as an honors student. And when I was in college, I got a DUI, and I was 20 years old. Got a DUI. I was working 3 jobs to be able to pay for my college education. And when I got a DUI, I thought that it was done. You know, the consequences of that, the feeling of failure, and the feeling that I wasn't going to be able to complete my goals of getting my engineering degree was so overwhelming that I tried to commit suicide. Drove up in the mountains, and I gave it a really good go for about 24 hours with a whole bunch of different approaches.
What approaches, Jay?
Well, I tried to carbon monoxide poison myself. I took pills. I slashed my wrists. I tried to hang myself, and all of that failed. And in the middle of the night, I was hallucinating and having some really interesting problems functioning, and I was still determined to accomplish that goal. And so I wanted to drive myself off of a bridge, and that was the solution that I had to really just end it. And so I struggled all night long to actually get my car unstuck because it was high centered up in the middle of the mountains. And in the morning, I went to give it a go, and it got unstuck immediately. And I pulled out there, and I was driving to this bridge that I knew, and I'm up in the Cascade Mountains in Washington. And as I'm driving, I see a hospital, a sign for a hospital up in the middle of nowhere. And I've driven that past since there, and something clicked in me. Like, I knew in that moment when I saw that hospital that I was not meant to die, and that I had a greater vision, that I was here for a purpose. I didn't know at that moment what that purpose was, but I knew that the path that I'd been on to that instant was absolutely perfect, and I was about to start a new path. And so I immediately pulled over. I took that exit, and I went in that hospital. I walked in, and I was covered with blood. I had a big rope mark around my neck, and I smelled like gasoline. And I walked up to the front desk, and they said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "I need to be fixed up because I got stuff to do." And that started this crazy whirlwind of, contacting my parents and all this crazy stuff. Everybody thought I was broken. And in Washington State, if you try and do something like that, they land you in a mental institution for 3 days. And so here I was with this new consciousness, and knowing that, I just wanted to get back to life. I wanted to fix my life. I wanted to get back on track and do my mission, which I hadn't clearly identified yet. And instead, I spent 3 days in a mental institution listening to people that had tried to kill themselves 4 or 5 times, and hearing their stories and just really, really feeling it, because that's where I was 24, 48 hours before. That's exactly where I'd been. And now I had this new excitement, this new desire to do something differently. And so when I got out of that, I sorted my life out, and I got really, really interested in health and fitness. I realized that I wanted to live as long as I possibly could. And I stopped. I dropped out of college. I'm not going to do that. I realized that there was a faster path to the goal. I didn't know what it was yet, but I knew that if my goal was truly to live a great life and to be happy, that the idea of doing another 3-4 years of college to do a job that I realized was really for other people, for my family and for my father, and living up to other people's expectations, I realized that that wasn't the path that I wanted to follow. And so I became super, super passionate about fitness, and I got so deep into it, I transformed my life so quickly that people became very, very interested in what it was that I was doing. I was reading all kinds of bodybuilding magazines, and it was my big focus was, how can I just be as healthy and as vibrant as possible? And I ended up building a business from it. And from that health foundation, I had an opportunity to move to California, actually from a job that I'd been working in college, offered me a management position in California. And so I moved down here to follow that, got into a 24-hour fitness, and started working for them, and really took my education to the next level. I started accumulating certifications, and within a period of about 6 or 7 years, I'd accumulated 70 different certificates and certifications in the health and fitness arena. I'd completed a 4-year program with the Czech Institute, another 3-year nutrition program, and I started creating this vision of how to create a holistic health clinic, looking at the things that had been missing in my life up to that point and what I had learned in those years of what it meant to really live healthy, to really to just focus on me and what it meant to be whole and healthy and what I was capable of as a human being, like really living and thriving and living my passion and wanting to share that with other people. And I'd spent so much time traveling all over the world, like training with the best of the best and taking classes. I realized that if we could create sustainable infrastructure, I wanted to build a place where I could bring those people to me, where I could bring those amazing, knowledgeable health leaders and those amazing, knowledgeable spiritual leaders and these people that I've been traveling all over. I realized that, man, if I could create an amazing resort where these people would want to come on vacation, I could bring them to me. And instead, these folks would come and they would enjoy this amazing environment and I would be able to enjoy their amazing knowledge. And basically we could share our gifts with each other. And so that was the original plan for One Community. It was meant to be, it wasn't One Community at that time, it was meant to be a holistic health retreat. And then at about the time when that idea came to be, I began 7 years of psychology training and holistic coaching, and the whole thing evolved. And what is now 7 different sustainable village models was originally just 7 individual guest houses. And what is now a nonprofit, global transformation, open source and free sharing organization purpose to permanently and positively transform the world for everybody was originally just an amazing holistic health retreat that was meant to permanently and positively transform the life for me and anybody that I could bring to share in that environment as well. And so those foundations have evolved into what it is, and now it is still meant to be this permanent and positive transformational environment where anybody that will come and visit will experience a way of living and a holistic approach to food and energy and health, emotional health as well as food and all of these different details in one place. But it's also meant to be a permanent and positive transformational organization for the world, because we want to give people all those components so they can go out and create that as well. And that was probably the biggest thing that I learned is, to have something amazing for yourself is the first step. I think that healing begins inside. And now that I've done that healing, the goal is really to share this with as many people as possible and teach them how to share it with as many people as possible so the model will spread.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jay.
Yeah.